Hi everyone, this is Alex Reby, immigration attorney with Maria Sario. So today we're going to be talking about qualifications for naturalization, which there are three important ones to remember. It is continuous residence, physical presence, and then physically residing in a particular jurisdiction. So we're going to parse those out. So in order to naturalize, what that means, naturalize is the same thing as getting citizenship, okay? You typically file an N-400 application. That's the application that you have to file. You can file that application either once you've had your green card for 3 years or once you've had your green card for 5 years. And you can file 90 days before that 3-year mark or before that 5-year mark. Now, how do I know which one? Well, 3 years if you're married to a US citizen and that's how you got your green card. 5 years otherwise. During that either 3-year time frame or 5-year time frame, you have to have maintained physical presence and continuous residence. So what does that mean? Well, physical presence means that you have to be physically in the United States longer than you are not in the United States. Okay. Now, any time during the day that you're in the United States does count towards that 1 day. So you don't have to be here for a full day for it to count. But if you're naturalizing based on the 5-year rule, so the typical way that most people are going to be able to naturalize, then you have to have spent 30 months inside the United States, which is 913 days. Okay. So that's how long you have to have been in the United States. So let's say you often go and visit your family in Japan, and you often go for like 3 months and then you come back for a few weeks, and then you go for 3 months and you come back for a few weeks. You might have a physical presence problem because during the last 5 years before filing, you might not have had enough physical presence because you don't have the 913 days in the United States. So you want to get your passport out, look. You might need to get your electronic I-94 to figure out your exact dates if you're on the border, and figure out exactly how much time did you spend abroad and how many days did you spend in the United States. So that's physical presence. And you also have to have continuous residence. So those are two separate requirements. They're both mandatory to meet, okay? So we just talked about physical presence. Second one is continuous residence. What that essentially means is you can't have extended periods of time outside the United States. Now, a lot of times people hear that when they come to do a consultation, they come to speak to our office, they'll say, yeah, I heard that I can't be out for more than 6 months. That is typically the rule, okay? So if you're gonna leave, you don't wanna leave the United States for more than 6 months at a given time. Now, you can get a re-entry permit and you might be able to leave that way, but for purposes of naturalization, if you want to naturalize, if you want to get your citizenship, then you have to have maintained the continuous residence by typically not having any single departure be more than 6 months at a given time. Now, what happens right now, we're in 2024, COVID was within the last 5 years. I often get clients that say, okay, well, when I was abroad, I went on vacation to visit my family in Dubai and I got stuck out there because there were no flights. And so I was out for 8 months. That's okay. If you are out for less than 6 months, you're golden, you're fine. If you are outside for more than 1 year, you cannot apply for your naturalization if it's within the 5 years or the 3 years, depending on how you're applying. Now, that gray period between 6 months and 1 year, you can apply, but you have to show that you didn't abandon your green card. So if your flight got canceled, had a flight during COVID, flight gets canceled, that's obviously not you abandoning your green card. You have no control over that. So that would be fine. You would just show, you had a job in the United States, you kept your residence, you filed taxes for that year in the United States, you paid all your bills, here's your canceled flight, that's what happened, okay? Or you left, your mom got sick and you ended up staying a little bit more than the 6 months because you were about to come back at 5 months, mom gets really sick, you have to go help her out, you can't come back and it's been 8 months, okay? So you can still have that continuous residence. It doesn't mean that you cannot apply if you've had a period of more than 6 months, less than a year in the last 5 years or 3 years. It just means you have to show evidence that you didn't abandon your green card. And then the third rule, so we talked about physical presence, the 30 months. We talked about continuous residence, less than 6 months. And now we're talking about the fact that you have to physically reside for at least 3 months prior to filing in the state that you're filing in. So if I'm filing in Virginia, I gotta have lived in Virginia for 3 months. If I just moved from California last month, I have to wait. Okay, so that's the third requirement. So you don't want to have your application denied because you filed too early. You don't want it to have it delayed because it's got to get processed in a different jurisdiction. You want your application to be accepted and approved. Currently, naturalization applications are not taking very long to be approved. They're currently taking oftentimes less than 6 months. So you'll probably be able to get your naturalization quickly, but you want to make sure that you qualify so you don't waste your time, your money, and you risk a rejection. So if you have any naturalization questions, any questions about the N400, that's one of the requirements, please give us a call, email, let us know how we can help. Thanks so much.